появилась в мировом масштабе год назад. И второе, вся эта продукция буквально вот недавно, пару месяцев назад, была сертифицирована в Украине. На сегодняшний день мы располагаем сертификацией всех производственных мощностей Smith&Nephew в мировом масштабе. То есть у нас практически представлено все, что может быть где-то в любом уголке мира. В связи с этим мы сочли своим долгом и честью, да, коротко представить вам и ознакомить с этими новыми продуктами. Вот. И для этого мы пригласили региональный офис Дубая, который является ответственным за наш регион, маркетинг-менеджер НИ Мариана Макела и маркетинг-менеджер плечо Джад Яхут. Значит, план у нас следующий, то есть мы коротко расскажем о новых продуктах в артроскопии коленного сустава, потом проведем воркшоп и затем коротко расскажем о новых продуктах по плечевому суставу, проведем воркшоп и расскажем также о новинках оборудования. Давайте начнем. Я хотела сразу задать вопрос, мы будем переводить? Будем, хорошо. Ну, это будет чуть медленнее тогда.
With translation we do, yes? Yeah, with translation. Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm very happy to be here. It's my first time in Ukraine, even I'm from Poland. It's very nice to finally see the country and be here to introduce new products to you. I'm very happy that we are having registered these two new products which are brilliant and very innovative to Ukrainian markets. Okay? You said that. Just to tell what is new in ligament repair, I believe you are very familiar with Endobaton CL Ultra, which our gold standard fixation for femoral fixation.
Все знакомы с эндобатоном, который является золотым стандартом фиксации.
So far, it is more than 250,000 procedures worldwide performed with Endobaton CL Ultra.
В мире уже выполнено более 250 тысяч имплантаций эндобатона.
We also now introducing Ultrabaton, which is our adjustable loop fixation device, which has a lot of improved features that I will present it in the moment.
И сейчас мы хотим представить вам Ультрабатон. Это устройство с регулируемой петлей, которое обладает рядом преимуществ, которые мы сейчас хотим представить.
As well, BioSure Regenesor, which is our new screw with open architecture and new biocomposite material.
И также наш новый винт BioSure Regenesor, который обладает открытой архитектурой и с новым биокомпозитным материалом.
At this stage, you are probably very familiar what we have for tibial fixation and what we will introduce at this stage. We have a BioSure in PEEK, which is non-absorbable material. We have BioSure in PLA with hydroxyapatite. We are introducing BioSure Regenesorb, and as well we have a BioSure Sync. Is it available in Ukraine? Sync?
Здесь коротко мы хотим представить уже доступные опции для тибиальной фиксации. Это BioSure PX из пластика, BioSure HA и BioSure Regenesorb новых винт, а также BioSure Sync система для тибиальной фиксации.
For femoral fixation, we have all the family of different Ultrabaton. Like the first one, it's Ultrabaton CL Ultra that you are probably Endobaton that you are using in your practice. Then we have an Endobaton CL dedicated for BTB. Extendobaton, in case of cortical blowout, is nice to have this fixation. And Endobaton Direct for very short tunnel. But actually, with the adjustable loop, we can almost cover all the other indication for regular Endobaton with our Ultrabaton.
Здесь коротко представлены для феморальной фиксации семейство фиксационных эндобатонов, которые мы имеем. Это Endobaton Continuous Loop, Endobaton BTB, Extendobaton, Endobaton Direct, но Ultrabaton практически полностью замещает собой все показания для использования всего, что сказано выше.
Ultrabaton, I'm very happy about this product. We already launched it globally last year, Ultrabaton, And I met surgeons already in India, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, that they were using it for more than 1 year, and the results are great, and I'm really proudly introducing this to Ukrainian market.
В прошлом году произошел мировой, да, в масштабах мировой лонч устройства ультрабаттон, и сейчас он используется во многих странах, в том числе Саудовской Аравии, Арабских Эмиратах, Южной Африке, Индии. How many procedures do you have since last year?
I know the revenue. I know the revenue that we reach more than $3 million already.
$3 million. Great.
The last year, yeah, this year. We were waiting quite long for introducing adjustable loop, as we are the fixed loop company, and Endobutton CL Ultra, it's our gold standard. However, we would like to give you an option for a short tunnel in case if you don't want to calculate the tunnel. And we came with a product which is providing almost no displacement compared to adjustable devices from competition.
Как компания-производитель устройства с фиксированной петлей, мы достаточно долго изучали рынок, да, и девайсы, которые были на рынке, прежде чем изобрести устройство, которое демонстрирует наилучшие характеристики и минимальное смещение. Это ультрабаттон.
Are you familiar, like are you using tightrope from Arthrocare or any other adjustable loop device? Anyone?
Кто использует tightrope? Поднимите руки.
Are you shy to say? Everyone just Smith&Nephew?
No, they use tightrope.
They use tightrope, okay. Because I would like to tell you what is different than tightrope, what we actually improve, and what you can find that's attractive in your practice and reliable. Let's start from the first feature. It's a graft cradle. It's a sleeve that actually it's hiding the other two sutures, and during adjustment you don't injure the graft. There is no sewing effect because this cradle actually gives you protection for your graft.
Первое — это хомут, который препятствует защите и препятствует перерезанию трансплантата во время дотягивания петли.
Another feature is the button is titanium and has exactly the same diameter as endobutton. Then in case you are using endobutton, you don't need any special instrumentation. Just you are switching to this product.
Пуговица имеет те же самые размеры, что Endobutton CL, то есть вы используете те же самые инструменты, что для работы с эндобаттоном.
You have an interlocking adjustment, which means it's like a finger trap. It's the same actually system as Arthrocare tightrope, but we have a double. That's why this displacement is much lower. Because the first one, it's going the finger trap inside the button, and the second was inside the cradle.
Используется устройство, похожее на называемая китайская ловушка для пальцев, но она дублирована, то есть одна находится в пуговице, а другая находится в хомуте.
And as well, we have adjustment tails, which means that when you start your adjustment and the sutures are becoming too long, then you have like a tail bridge that you can grab it, and actually you can do the adjustment by yourself without any help of your assistant.
Регулировочные нити, они достаточно длинны, поэтому вы можете легко манипулировать без помощи ассистента.
The flip suture is just one flip suture, but in case if you would like to load it a second one to have like the textile feedback as with endobutton, then it's an additional hole that you can load it the second one.
То есть в конце есть концевая петля, да, она единичная. Тут невозможно почувствовать флип-эффект, потому что там только одна нить. Но, в общем-то, мы потом расскажем, что вам это ощущение и не нужно будет.
And another thing is that the loop, when you open the device, it's 105 centimeters long, which means when you are introducing the device together with graft to the joint, and you are doing your flipping, and before adjustment, actually your graft is not introduced yet to tibia. Then it's very easy to see the flipping, it's very easy to flip it, and this is a big advantage. The loop, it's 105 is long enough.
То То есть длина этих нитей петли 105 миллиметров. За счет этого вы уже проходите бедренный канал до того, как у вас трансплантат заходит в тибиальный. Поэтому у вас более контролируемое проведение самого устройства и трансплантата.
It's very easy for graft loading.
Погрузить трансплантат очень легко. Вы удерживаете возле верхнего отверстия и перекидываете через нижнее. И тянете и отсоединяете.
And this is the finger loop that you start your adjustment with the finger loop, and when you have not enough space, then you switch to the tail bridge. This is ultra braid suture. It's polyethylene suture. It's sharp and it's very strong. Then when you have a super press fit and you do your adjustment, please protect your
То есть
your
первое
hands.
это вы тянете за концевую петлю, и потом так называемую ладонную петлю для финального натяжения. Это нити это полиэтиленовые, да, ультравысокомолекулярный полиэтилен, который обладает высокой прочностью и скольжением.
And here I will just play at the mechanism of action to show you actually how the loop is adjusting. Here you do your marking. You do your marking on the loop. What is your graft? What is your actually tunnel length? And you do a marking of your graft, how much you want to hide your loop. And here you can see when you do an adjustment, there is a two locking mechanism. One is inside the cradle, which is protecting a graft, and the second one is inside the loop. The loop can be adjusted up to 8 millimeters. It's because of the cradle. The cradle cannot go more than 8 millimeters.
Петля утягивается до 8 миллиметров, потому что дальше этот хомут будет препятствовать дальнейшему натяжению.
And here we did internal testing on the bench testing. The testing was done the same like Dr. Barrow is doing all the testing of all the devices. And we use bench testing with 4,500 cycle. And this is the results. It's still more than endobaton, yes? Endobaton displacement, it's probably like 0.3. Ultrabaton, it's showing 1.5. But as you know from the studies that they were published, that more than 3 millimeters, that's a clinical failure. And ultrabaton is showing the less displacement of all competition.
То есть, как вы понимаете, были проведены биомеханические исследования циклического смещения после 4500 циклов. Они продемонстрировали, что ультрабатон демонстрирует среди всего семейства устройств с регулируемой петлей самое низкое смещение, около 1,5 миллиметров. Все равно, конечно, это больше, чем у эндобатона CL, который демонстрирует 0,3 миллиметра смещения.
Yeah, we watched competition long enough to build something what it's better than them. Leading fixation strength, of course, the fixation strength is more than 1,500 newtons, which is actually comparable to endobaton CL Ultra.
Сила фиксации более 1500 ньютон.
And in summary, the displacement is much lower than this what you are using at this stage. Imagine if you are doing all inside, and you have to compromise displacement in femur and in tibia. And you can switch to this device and have a much less displacement. Then it's a graft protection, and you can do it with one hand. Here is shown how you can see it actually from inside the joint, the button flip. And the video is not moving. But because of the loop, it's that long, then you can actually easily, without any pressure and without graft in your tibia, go inside the femoral tunnel and see easily the button flipping.
Из-за того, что у вас петля очень длинная, вы можете наблюдать, введя артроскоп в бедренный канал, да, флип-эффект, до того, как вы будете вводить трансплантат за счет достаточной длины петли.
And it just in comparison with endobutton CL Ultra button has almost the same diameters, like the plate is made of titanium, has 8 holes, and endobutton has 4 holes. But you can use GraftMaster, the same instrumentation, and goes through 4.5 millimeter tunnel. And the loop, it's made of polyethylene, high molecular polyethylene suture.
То есть эти устройства очень подобны. Вы используете то же самое инициальное сверло 4,5 миллиметра. Длина и то есть размеры устройства те же самые. Отличаются нити. Если в эндобаттоне CL у вас нить из полиэстера, здесь из высокомолекулярного полиэтилена.
And now the technique. Just to show you how easy the technique is, we have sawbones here that you can try it after the device and see how adjust, how it does not displace. You can play with it. We have enough samples that everyone can try it. Then you start with your standard femoral tunnel with 4.5 millimeter endobutton drill. You drill your femoral socket on the desired length as you wish to hide your graft. Then you load easy your graft on it. Then you do 2 markings. The first marking you do on the loop itself, which is actually helping you to know when to flip the button.
То есть на петле полная длина туннеля бедренного мы измеряем.
And the second marking is your desired socket in femur.
На трансплантате желаемая глубина погружения для трансплантата.
It's just from the beginning when you use the device, because after you will know, but from the beginning we recommend. And then you use the regular suture for passing the graft through the tibia and femur. You load both sutures, the adjustment suture and the flipping suture.
Обе нити должны погрузиться, флип-нить и нить для дотягивания.
But you pull them both equally, yes? You don't want to pull only the white one, because then you start your adjustment.
Вы должны синхронно их как бы не перетягивать, то есть синхронно тянуть и флип-нить, и нить для натяжения.
Then you flip your button when you see that the first marking on the loop it's in the edge of your femoral tunnel.
Вы разворачиваете петлю на кортикали, и первая маркировка — это маркировка на петле.
When you do your adjustment and you adjust the loop, you have to put always a little bit counter tension on the tibia side. It has to be a little bit of tension.
И затем вы осуществляете финальное натяжение концевой ладонной петлей и все время оказываете контрнатяжение с тибиальной стороны. И затем осуществляете тибиальную фиксацию.
Then you fix tibia as you wish with another ultra button. And here we are recommending to use the shoulder suture cutter to cut the suture off.
Мы рекомендуем использовать резак, который используется в наборе плечевого сустава, чтобы обрезать нить.
But it's of course up to you, because many surgeons, as I know, they just leave the tails. They just move the skin a little bit and they cut it close to the skin and they leave the tails. But it's up to you.
And they cut suture as well, yeah? Вы можете также завязать по желанию. То есть этого не требуется.
Any questions so far?
Мы сейчас попробуем.
Or maybe after the workshop.
Yeah.
Probably more questions after. And here I would like to introduce you to the new screws, which is absolutely new design, and it's something unique that no other companies has it yet.
Совершенно новый винт, который отсутствует у абсолютно всех других компаний.
And it's based on the helicoil technology. It's a technology that we use in shoulders since a couple years already, which is actually open architecture design, which means that the screw is not only penetrated with holes, it's actually open, then it provides bone ingrowth inside the screw. That's for elephant, that's not for...
Этот винт, основанный на технологии helicoil, разработанной для плечевого сустава пару лет тому назад, и его особенность заключается в открытой архитектуре, которая позволяет костной ткани вырастать.
The screw performance, because of course it's you can imagine that the screw has 40% less material. Then when you introduce it to tibia, it has to have the same strength as a normal screw, the solid one.
Имеет на 40% меньше материала, но тем не менее обладает такой же прочностью, как и обычный солидный винт.
And it's an advanced biocomposite material, which is we added to PLGA and beta-TCP calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate, it's a mineral which is working in a biochemical way to provide a bone ingrowth in the early stage from 2 to 4 weeks.
И также компания Smith&Nephew изобрела для этого новый материал, регинисорф, который состоит из комбинации полилактид-дигликолида, кальциум-сульфата и бета-3-кальциум-фосфата. В данном случае кальциум-сульфат действует на ранних стадиях заживления, first 2 to 4 weeks, yeah? Or to 6 weeks.
Yes, from 2 to 6 weeks, the early stage.
На первых 2-6 недели заживления.
To look at closer to the open architecture, and this is what you can see. It's a 6 times greater open area available for bone ingrowth.
Поверхность увеличена в 6 раз для лучшего вырастания кости.
And you can see here that it's approximately 15% bone ingrowing inside the screw. This is your screw. This is the bone after already 12 weeks. It's ingrow. Then actually this is your graft. And you can see that the bone, it's in contact almost all around the graft, which is in a solid screw. You will have a screw just in here. And with this screw, you have a bone ingrowth. And we have our preclinical study to document that.
То есть 50% костной массы на 12-й неделе заживления.
And the advanced biocomposite material, what is different than any other company? We developed this material ourselves. We didn't buy this material from anyone else. We developed in York in our laboratory, Smith&Nephew.
То есть этот материал не куплен у другой компании, то есть он изобретен компанией Smith&Nephew. Называется он регинисорф.
And for example, like other screws are mostly made of just PLGA, which is the normal polyglycolic lactic acid, which is absorbing, yes. And then you have 2 different components which are osteoconductive. They're actually helping to bone to grow, which means it's not only absorbing, but it's replaced by bone in 24 months.
То есть к стандартному материалу это один из подвидов полимолочной кислоты, полилактид-бигликолид. Компания Smith&Nephew добавила еще 2 остеокондуктивных материала, бета-3-кальциум-фосфат и кальциум-сульфат. Но причем я скажу от себя, что там в брошюре написано, что кальциум-сульфат ассоциируется с высвобождением факторов роста на 1, 2, 6 неделе, что свидетельствует также не только от остеокондуктивных, но и о остеоиндуктивных эффектах, потому что остеокондуктивный эффект — это в принципе матрица либо каркас, да, для вырастания кости, а остеоиндуктивный — это продуцирование местных факторов роста и биохимические реакции.
Yeah, like for example, in general, beta-TCP and PLGA, that's Milagro screw. That's exactly this material. We add a calcium sulfate, which it's reacting in shortened time from 4 to 12 weeks. And what it does, it's release calcium, which means that the bone is formatting much faster from the beginning of the implantation of the screw.
То есть дополнительный компонент кальций-сульфат, который присутствует, уникальный, который присутствует в этом материале, он способствует высвобождению кальция на ранних стадиях заживления, как мы говорили, 2-6 недели, и способствует интенсивному заживлению и врастанию кости.
And here you can see there are preclinical studies on the ships. We are working now on the clinical study of this material, but we use this material since 4 years already in shoulder. We have a BioSure Regenesorb which is already.
То есть клинические исследования по поводу этого материала пока недоступны. Есть доклинические исследования на модели овцы, но в принципе аналогичный фиксатор Helicoil в плечевом суставе используется уже 4 года успешно.
And again, you need the same instrument if you are using BioSure HA or BioSure PK. You need exactly the same instrument. It's nothing special here because the design of threads is the same. Only we are introducing 5mm screw. That's the first time that we have such a small screw that you may use it for your MPFL reconstruction, for any ligaments around ankle, foot and ankle joint, whenever of your biceps, distal biceps, tenodesis, you can use the small diameter screw if you need it.
Опять же, никакого специального инструмента вам не требуется, вы используете ту же отвертку BioSure. Единственное, что за счет того, что тут дополнительно присутствуют размеры 5х20 и 5х25, для них нужна отдельная отвертка. Если вам нужно, допустим, такие процедуры, как реконструкция МПФЛ, голень, тенодез бицепса, вы можете использовать винт такого диаметра.
And that's it, the 2 products for knee repair. I'm responsible for knee, then Jad will present some shoulder.
No, maybe we'll go to
and I would like to ask you to move to the table that we can actually try the products.
Мы покажем и потом
It's a 10mm pre-drilled, and you have written here your you have written here your length of your femoral tunnel. Then I can do a demonstration on this clear bone. But I think it's fine without. Can you hear me?
No, it's online.
It's online. I'm online. Okay. Let's come here. Excuse me. Then I prepare here. Is it the loop, and I put the graft already, and I will do 2 markings. The marking of 40mm tunnel, which is this tunnel here, which is pre-drilled. Then I will just put it in the same way like we did it with endobutton. Then we just do the marking on 40. And the socket, I guess, is probably 30. Then I will try to put it, then I will just remove this one. And I will do my markings on 30mm graft. I did that before, but now I have to pass my graft in. Here's easy. In arthroscopic world, you cannot do that this way. Okay. Then I just place both of the sutures in the loop, the standard way that you are doing normally. Then you just pass only the sutures outside of the femur. Okay, one didn't go through. Now I have a problem. You are welcome to do it in the same time. Yeah, this one is too big, yeah, to introduce here. You have a passing pin to help you. Okay, now I will make sure that we have all the tails inside. Yes, I pass all. And what is important, you introduce first, you pull in both. But you pull more the green one than the white one. Then you flip this way. You can actually control the flip from inside the joint. And now you can see that the loop is long enough that it's not entering the tibia, which is big advantage from your flipping and maneuvering through the joint. And then you start your adjustment. You start with this loop, and you put always a little bit of counter tension on this side. And you start, I would need someone to hold the button a little bit in place to pretend that we have a muscle here, a little bit. Yes, then you start your adjustment in here. It's going really smoothly, yes, going very smoothly. And then when you are ready, you have here the tail bridge. Okay, but this is sharp. This is something that you will have to, depends of, to protect your fingers. And then you start with the counter tension in here. You start your adjustment until the end. Maximum is 8 millimeters. Some surgeons asking, do I need to do the knots over it? You don't have to. You might, if you would like to have a double security, but you don't have to. You can do your cycling. After the cycling, you can still try, okay, let's see if there is anything extra. And then you do your fixation and it's done. Okay? From the beginning, you just put a counter tension and you just pull it. But in the end, you want to just all the sutures to come in the end equally. Then you can do this movement, yes, right and left, even like that as well. One hand, hands. What is easier? We have more implants if you would like to check. We can cut it off and use it. We can cut it off. All good? And when you do the adjustment, you have to always have some tension in here. You can help yourself that someone, because here normally you have muscles, yes? And you can just hold it a little bit. Okay. And now you can switch in here, huh? Always with a little bit counter tension. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. This might happen. Yes, this might happen. That's why we basically try to mark the loop on the lens exactly of your tunnel. If they happen what to do, probably you can maneuver a little bit, but if it's a little bit soft tissue, then the soft tissue will stay there, right? I know it's not good. The question is here, you can always come back and try it again. But what I will recommend is always just to do it very under control, that you have your marking, you put your scope into femoral tunnel, you actually see when your button is going, then you are flipping it, and then that's it. Then you can prevent to go too far and to grab some soft tissue back into your cortex. Do you agree? It's going fast, but okay. You just do your markings, and when you go and you have your markings, okay, I'm ready to flip. You don't go too far, and when you have the feeling that it's some soft tissue, what you can do, you can pull. It's a 10 centimeters loop. You just pull outside. You make it back. Yeah, and you pull it back. Yes, you can pull it back. You can make it vertical again and pull it back. Then be all over. Yes. But that's a. But to be honest, it's a very good question. I never had this question from any other surgeons. Okay. If you want, I can. What to do with the soft tissue? But the thing is, like, if you are happy with endobaton, they don't change. This is not for you. Endobaton is stronger. There's no displacement. If you are happy with endobaton, you don't have to. It is. It's to provide you an option. Like some surgeons that are endobaton users, and like most our top surgeons, they will never switch to ultrabaton because they believe there's no displacement. It's a gold standard. I have no problem with endobaton for 20 years. Why I should change? I'm not a surgeon. I'm a Smith&Nephew representative. But I deal with surgeons a lot, yes. I work in Abu Dhabi with Dr. Brown, and we actually, like, Dr. Brown will never use it. He said, I'm endobaton, like, I don't want any other thing. But this is like, for some surgeons that they love still fixed loop, they are thinking, for example, okay, if I have a super short tunnel, a super short graft, and I still want to have a fixation in tibia and femur, I can really adjust and do my fixation for both sides. Another one will say it's going to be easier for me for PCL reconstruction because I don't have to really think about the diameter of the tunnel, and maybe the graft passage even will be easier because the loop is very long. Because you will still have to manipulate, right? Some surgeons will use it maybe for meniscal root repair, even on the sides. I'm just thinking how. No, not really. No, that's not. But it is mostly for surgeons that they already really like this technology, and we are launching something because the adjustable devices become quite popular worldwide, especially, for example, in Australian market, that surgeons are using very short grafts. They just like to use hamstrings, only semi-T. They don't want to do only one, and you have to have at least 8 millimeters, right? You have a lot of complication that less than 8 millimeters diameter of your graft will cause clinical failure. Then you have a very short graft. Then when you have a solution from both sides to do an adjustment, to do any fixation for a short graft, then this gives you this flexibility that you can maneuver with the short graft to fit perfectly in tibia and femur. Different options, yes? But if you're happy with endobaton, stay. Seriously, seriously. Yeah.
Хотелось бы попробовать новенький.
Господа, давайте мы перейдем к плечу, потом Нет, сейчас они. А потом мы все закончим. Так, ну мы продолжим.
Раз.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jad. I'm managing shoulder and hip repair for a region which is for Smith&Nephew based in Dubai. It's basically the world excluding Europe and United States. And I'm personally very pleased to be here. First time as Mariana in Ukraine. That confirms that Ukrainian people are one of the nicest European people. I have a lot of Ukrainian people in the office. I thought it was the fake. But in reality, Ukrainian people are one of the nicest in Europe. Polish, second. I have to do it. Anyway, very nice city, Kiev. Thank you. I'm going to go through shoulder repair innovation. Please stop me at any moment. There's a lot of products. It can go far away. This shows the investment in Smith&Nephew in terms of shoulder repair. We have one of the biggest portfolios now, if not the biggest in the market. I like to call it tailor-made solution for any physician, because for me, I don't want to come today and tell you how to do something. I prefer to tell you, what do you need, and I have it for you.
То есть на сегодняшний момент Smith&Nephew имеет одно из самых больших портфелей для плеча, и то, что я называю индивидуальное решение. То есть я не прихожу к вам и говорю, что у меня есть, а прихожу и говорю, а что же нужно вам, потому что у нас, в принципе, есть все.
So all the technologies here we're talking about, we go into suture anchors. I know this is very wide, and we'll go through it quickly. All suture anchors, this is the future of repair in arthroscopy. Knotless devices, suture passing, because there's a lot of devices how to pass sutures as well and to manage them. And resection in particular, because resection is very important in shoulder. And we have an amazing technology called quantum encoblation, which we will see afterwards. If we start with rotator cuff portfolio, this seems very big and massive. Actually, the whole message here on this slide is just to tell you that now, if you tell me you need something just single row knotted, single row knotless, and double row option, we can give you this solution. So, for example, in single row knotted, which is one of the most common approaches in shoulder repair, RC rotator cuff, we can go from the basic and most common suture anchors, a wide range of material from titanium peak and absorbable, and wide range of sizes from 4.5 to 6.5, and as well loaded with needles, with sutures and multiple sutures and even needles.
То есть, значит, сегодняшний день для восстановления вращательной манжеты, какой бы способ восстановления вы не выбрали, узловой однорядный, безузловой однорядный, двурядный, для любых этих решений у нас есть как бы соответствующие фиксаторы.
So this is Twin Fix Ultra, the family you know. Helicoil, my colleague Mariana spoke about it. This is not an innovation. This is really the most amazing anchor in the market. I'm not allowed to use superlative words, but I have to say it because this is not just a marketing promise, and we will see it afterwards. This is basically a suture anchor which has the less material in the market. It's not vented, it is helicoil. It's completely open architecture. If you look at it and you'll see it in details, it's incredible. All the fluids and the tissue bone growth inside it is really nice in peak. And now with the promise of Regenesorb, which is an osteoconductive material, it's not absorbable alone. So basically, after 24 months, if I'm not mistaken, it will be replaced by osteoclast and osteoblast. So it's a completely living material. And afterwards, if you're not happy with the suture, we now have it loaded with a tape. This is a tape called Ultra Tape. We took a while to come in the market, as usual, Smith&Nephew, but we created a real tape. This is not a suture which has a flat tape on it. This is a completely flat tape, and we will see it in a while after what's the added advantage here in terms of safety, compression, and all these advantages.
То есть хотелось обратить внимание ваше на два фиксатора. Первый вот хеликойл, который уже упоминали, который уже 4 года на рынке. Это фиксатор для плечевого сустава с совершенно открытой архитектурой, которая тоже гарантирует раннее врастание кости, и лента Ультра Тейп, которая обеспечивает равномерное как бы натяжение по всей толщине для репарации вращательной манжеты.
And afterwards, now, which is the future, it's all suture anchors. So now we're going into this direction. So first of all, here you're dilating 3.8 millimeter nearly, and you're inserting anchors from 4.5 to 6.5. With the helicoil family, it's much smaller impact because you're using less material. So in terms of pull-out strength, it's much more higher because you have a fully threaded anchor, completely helicoil, so the healing process is much faster. But these all suture anchors, the promise here is you drill less bone, and the deployment is a completely plastic-free material. It's only sutures in the bone. And the pull-out is extremely exactly the same as a suture
И,
anchor.
наконец, наше будущее — это фиксатор-узел. Да, если мы проследим, то мы начинали от имплантации солидных фиксаторов по типу Twin Fix Ultra различных диаметров, потом перешли к фиксатору Helicoil с открытой архитектурой и более ранним заживлением. И, наконец, последнее, что у нас есть, это фиксатор-узел, который, собственно, не образует материала внутри при фиксации тканей.
And in terms of suture passing is very important. So now we have a wide selection of suture passes between true pass. We have here an example of it, which is a very nice device in terms of reproducibility, handle, which is very nice to handle, and deployment mechanism, very deep bite. And then we have other options which are similar in terms of passing tape, suture, all these material. And we go to a disposable suture passer, which is another step into safety, because this could be in your OR in case of non-sterilization of a suture passer, or if you have an activity outside of the hospital in private, you just travel with your first disposable suture passer. It comes with a needle inside loaded, and you use it all the procedure and you throw it.
И, наконец, для проведения нити у нас целая серия существует новых девайсов. Но мы-то начинали с Elite Pass, и сейчас есть новые фиксаторы True Pass, First Pass и одноразовый First Pass. Есть также девайс, тут не упоминается, да, Smart Stitch, который содержит картридж с нитями, который просто одевается на рабочую часть и одновременно формирует два шва, то есть две иглы сразу. Yeah, okay.
If you prefer single row knotless, I know sometimes not very common. This is a nice approach to allow you to use lateral devices, not medial, knotless. So we have a suture passer specific called Smart Stitch. It allows you to do what we call an incline mattress repair. So basically, if you look here, I don't know if it's very clear, the two sutures comes out from the passer, and it has double needles, which allows the suture to go up under the cuff, another position, and go up. So basically, when you tension the sutures in the device, the cuff rolls, and you have more contact with the footprint here.
То есть вы можете вот с помощью этого прошивателя Smart Stitch вы можете медиальный ряд то есть использовать без применения узловых фиксаторов. Это просто нитка, которая с помощью двух игл входит снаружи, вовнутрь или опять наружу. И таким образом при натяжении латерального ряда формируется валик, который способствует лучшей репарации.
And in terms of locking devices in lateral row, we have the widest now range of knotless devices. It goes into how do you prefer to use your knotless. If you're a fan of self-punch-in devices with a locking mechanism with a screw or a push, we have the massive family of Multifix MP, which can accommodate a big range of sutures and tapes. So this can accommodate 6 sutures or 4 tapes or 2 and 2. This is really nice to use. No material, no metal in it, self-punch-in, no need to dilate. And it's a very nice device in multiple sizes, all peak. We have a historical footprint ultra peak. This is the highest pull-out strength in the market and one of the nicest in terms of locking mechanism because you can over-tension and release the tension because it has a screw in it. Once you lock the sutures, you can release it to avoid any over-tension. And finally, speed screw, and we have many other, but I cannot put it here. So speed screw is the only knotless device which you implant first and you load after. So we can see it in the details.
Ну, то есть вкратце, то есть самый большой спектр безузловых фиксаторов, закручивающихся, забивающихся. Фиксатор Speed Screw отличается тем, что сначала имплантируется фиксатор, и потом туда заправляется нить. Фиксатор Footprint обладает наибольшей силой вытяжения. И также есть фиксаторы Multifix, которые можно в отверстие, в которое входит либо 6 концов нити, либо 4 конца ленты ультратейп.
And finally, if we go to double row option, this is massive actually. We will see afterwards because double row depends on your preference. Now I would tend to push surgeons to go to double row because in terms of repair and outcome of the procedure, it's proven much better than single row. I'm not saying that single row is not good, but this actually you are repairing the cuff, pulling it back to the footprint position, and at least you have medial and lateral compression actually. In terms of devices, you have the widest range now into combining knotless for both medial and lateral row. You can use an all suture anchor already loaded with a tape and lock it with a knotless device. I mean, it's open to you. You can use an all suture anchor even on the medial row. So this is really open to your preference. And on the next slide, we will see just some examples, few of them, on a new technique called ultra contact technique using the tape.
То есть мы, самый широкий спектр фиксаторов для двурядного восстановления. Сейчас мы покажем технику, которая называется ультраконтакт для восстановления.
So here we're highlighting, as you can see, just in brief, the ultra contact. We call it ultra contact because you use the ultra tape. As you can see, the tape.
Ультраконтакт, потому что мы используем ультратейп при данном способе восстановления.
So we're just highlighting 3 techniques. Once again, you alone as a surgeon, and you know it well, you can repair however you want. This is just to highlight different combinations of products and different approaches. The easiest is just to use one implant. This is for a small cuff tear. So basically, one implant, you pass sort of an incline mattress. You use the tape, you pass it under the cuff, you pass it again, and you lock it with a device. And we will see in details how it happens. So here we're highlighting, as I said, true passer as a suture passer, footprint ultra PK, and ultra tape. I'll just go fast here. I will avoid the steps. As you can see, the true pass suture pass is a quite easy and ergonomic design. You can pass the tape here, very easy. It's a very deep bite device. Once you're inside, self-capture window, it's an extreme ease of use for you. So here he will pass the first tape. As you can see, it captures it and goes back, so it's very easy. And you pass it on the side and it releases the tape. And we'll do the same approach. As you can see, we pass the same tape from under the cuff. And we take both of them and we lock them in our footprint Ultra Peak. So you will see in terms of mechanism, this is a very, very nice device. In terms of pull out, it's like putting it into the wall, it doesn't go out. With the bards actually. You use a dilator, 3.8 millimeter, to pre-dilate the location of the footprint in the lateral row. You go inside with the footprint, and this is the beauty of it. You can control the compression and the tensioning afterwards. Even if it's over-tensioned, you can release the screw.
То есть фиксатор footprint гарантирует регулируемое натяжение, то есть вы можете перенатянуть ленту столько раз, собственно, сколько вам это необходимо. How many tips of ultra tape one footprint accommodate? 2?
So what we recommend is 2 and 2. 2 sutures, 2 tapes.
2 sutures and 2 tapes.
So here, as you can see, we release the sutures, we tighten. And here you have a locking mechanism here with the back of the knob. And it will allow, I hope we can see it, the micro tension here. And it has a cue. It will tell you when you reach the locking, and you can release it back to avoid over-tensioning. You see, it does the reverse to avoid over-tension. And so this is one of the few features in terms of devices to allow you this.
So after you lock clockwise, several anti-clockwise.
So once you lock it, because it's a screw, so it's a clockwise, and you will hear tick, 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 tick. So it means it reached the locking.
Yeah.
And to avoid overtension, you just do 1 or 2 roll behind to release a little bit the overlocking.
После того, как вы закрутили, вы услышали несколько щелчков, вы сделали в противоположном направлении несколько движений для того, чтобы предотвратить перенатяжение.
So this was a single row. I will show you a double row, and now we're highlighting using the same implant, actually footprint, in both medial and lateral row, because sometimes when we say knotless, we always say lateral. In reality, you can use it for both medial and lateral row.
Здесь мы продемонстрируем, как footprint может быть использован и для медиального, и для латерального ряда.
So here the approach, you have to, the idea is just to have to load the knotless device outside. If you're a user of Arthrocare, you know this is their approach actually. And I will show you after that you have now the possibility to use an already loaded suture anchor, which makes it easy for you. So here we load the tape, the suture anchor with the tape.
Для медиального ряда вы должны сначала заправить лентой фиксаторы footprint. Хотя обычно как бы последовательность обратная.
We release this suture is to release the anchor actually. And here what will happen, you can see the screw, actually that's what I'm talking about. It's the only device in the market that has this. And so you will lock it outside, you transform it into a suture anchor actually. And you see the anti-clockwise just 1 or 2 times. And so he will prepare another one with a different color because Ultra Tape comes in blue and co-braid, so the double color, to avoid confusion. And with the same dilator, 3.8 millimeter, now on the medial row, we will prepare 2 insertion sites under the cuff. So as you can see, the tear here is a little bit bigger than the first option. You insert your footprint, you hammer it into the bone, and it has a laser mark to tell you where to stop.
То есть лазерная метка должна на поверхности находиться для полного погружения.
You release your sutures, and you take out the handle with the shaft. And you'll do the same. And now what's going to happen, he will use the suture passer to pass it across with more contact areas into the cuff. Maybe we can go faster here. He will use true pass actually, and he will do multiple passing of the tape into the cuff. This way you have more compression areas. So here he's pushing it a little bit to prepare the footprint to the lateral insertion. And here you use your footprint ultra as a normal knotless device, lateral row.
Затем для латерального ряда вы используете, как обычно, футпринт.
So you dilate the same dilator, 3.8 millimeter. As you can see, not much instruments are needed. It's the same dilator basically. You go inside, and here you will hammer the same approach till the laser mark. As you can see, you have 2 tapes in it, one co-braid and one blue. Same approach, you lock the device, you release the anchor here with this suture. And this is essential, this suture is here to avoid slippage of the anchor and the breakage of the anchor. So here you tension manually, actually, your device, and you lock it clockwise. It's very slow. So as you can see, the screw is locking the tapes inside the anchor till you hear the click, and then he will release it 1 or 2 clicks, just to avoid overtension. And you release the anchor, and they will do it again with the second anchor. And here you have a perfect repair with multiple implies. And as you can see, the beauty of this repair versus other competition is that the 2 tapes are not going from the same point, which means if you take 2 tapes from the same point, you will make micro. It's a lot of compression, pressure on the cuff. It might provoke a tear. And in terms of compression, it avoids actually having laceration after and better circulation of the fluids and for a better healing. And we will see afterwards why UltraTape allows this.
То есть у вас нет 2 концов ленты, исходящие из одной точки, поскольку это будет способствовать тому, что меньше риск некроза и нарушения циркуляции в месте репарации.
And the last one, I'll go very fast. It's a different anchor called Multifix S Ultra. This anchor is a different approach into using knotless devices with tapes. So basically, here we're preparing actually the insertion site in a medial row, and that's why.
I'm sorry, but it's Multifix? Yeah?
No, so we will use helicoil here.
Helicoil.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and so this suture anchor, you will see it's already fully open architecture. It's already loaded. So this one is rated with 1 tape, but it comes in 1 tape and 1 suture as well.
То есть этот фиксатор helicoil представлен либо с 2 нитями, либо с лентой и с нитью.
So here the technique, you might like it or not, but I mean, this is just to show how it works, because they're using 3 suture anchors. So they will do multiple passage of the tapes. And here, they will use a new device called Multifix S Ultra. As you can see, it has a metal loading mechanism. It passes, first of all, 2 tapes, and this is the new stuff. It's loaded inside, actually. So the locking mechanism doesn't depend on bone quality. It is locked inside. And you pass another 2 tapes, actually. It can accommodate 4 tapes, 2 tapes, 2 sutures, or 6 sutures, actually.
То есть вот новый фиксатор Multifix, либо 6 нитей, либо 4 конца ленты, который имеет металлическую сердцевину и нити, которые заряжаются внутрь, поэтому это как бы ваша сила фиксации независима от контакта кости и импланта.
As you can see, he will hammer it, tension it before, hammer till the laser mark here window.
В то время как вы забиваете, достигается натяжение.
So this is the last moment where you can hit tension it, and now he will deploy the suture, the screw to lock the device.
И затем для блокировки вы закручиваете этот механизм.
So as you can see, they have two safety in this device versus competition. First of all, we're not only locking the suture against the wall and the screw, the suture goes into the window and inside the device. So we have one locking mechanism here, and the second is versus the bone, which means that no slippage versus repair. If you have a poor quality bone, you have no slippage.
То есть два механизма фиксации, две точки фиксации. Первая за счет того, что у вас нити и ленты погружены внутрь фиксатора, и вторая за счет того, что закручиванием достигается плотный контакт вокруг.
So here he does 2 anchors, and it shows that it can accommodate here 3 tapes. So it's a wide variety of repairs, and that was the point of showing these videos actually. We will see all these devices afterwards in the
Да, то есть сейчас мы это посмотрим подробно.
So next option is instability actually portfolio. Here I will go very fast. So we have a wide range as well of knotted and knotless anchors. We have the historical family of Bioraptor and Osteoraptor. It comes in suture anchor, knotless anchor, and curved to allow perfect with a 24 degrees bend, optimize the drilling into the bone.
Для восстановления суставной губы точно так же есть узловые и безузловые фиксаторы. Исторически у нас были представлены фиксаторы Bioraptor, Osteoraptor, Bioraptor Knotless и изогнутый Osteoraptor. In Ukraine we had no Osteoraptor curved, but anyway.
And now the future, actually reality now, because the glenoid is a so small area, it's better to, and you have more revision options actually, it's better to drill less. Actually, all these anchors in the market, you're dilating or drilling at 2.3 to 3.4 millimeter, which can be very big in the glenoid. So all suture anchors now, you're just drilling 1.7 or 1.9 millimeter into the bone. And so you're putting only sutures inside it, and the pull-out strength is exactly the same as a knotted full anchor, hard anchor. And today we will see Q-Fix, which is the best in the market. And I'm not saying it. I have a clinical study done external from Smith&Nephew to show compared to all suture anchors in instability and in cuff.
То есть площадь глиноида ограничена, поэтому исторически использовались фиксаторы и сверло диаметром 2,3, 2,4, 2,9 мм. Но будущим и, в принципе, настоящим Smith&Nephew является то, что у нас есть фиксаторы-узлы, для фиксации которых используется просверливается отверстие диаметром 1,7 и 1,9 мм.
So Q-Fix, you would understand when you look at it, why is it superior? Because all other suture anchors actually are just one dimension deployment actually.
То есть все девайсы, которые на сегодняшний момент представлены, это одноплоскостные узловые фиксаторы.
Q-Fix is basically a collapsing suture. We drill a tunnel actually, and we will see it during the workshop. It's completely covered, so no risk of non-deployment. It is 100% deployment anchor. It doesn't rely on the cortex as all suture anchors, because all of them, the deployment is basically when the surgeon will tension. Q-Fix will see it. We control every step, and we make a 360 ball, which is, if I'm not mistaken, around 5 to 6 millimeter or 7 actually, with a 2.8. So basically, I didn't see it. We have it for rotator cuff and instability, this anchor. You can use it for biceps. You use it for hip as well. And now we're having it in a mini option, less drilling, same concept, and in curved. So a full range of product coming soon.
То есть Q-Fix, в отличие от них, это объемный узел, и он разворачивается контролируемо, потому что остальные фиксаторы блокируются в момент вытяжения и натяжения нитей. Этот же фиксатор и узел образуется контролируемо путем, получается, дотяжения рукоятки. Но мы покажем вам это.
So definitely consistent deployment. This is a promise, and you will see it. Superior performance, we will show it in the clinical study, actually independent. And streamlined techniques, it allows you to use streamlining in terms of implant placement actually. I will show you a short animation which explains how it works actually and the ease of this device. So here we're highlighting instability actually use. As we said, it's a radial expansion, consistent deployment, and streamlined technique. We use actually a guide with a drill. You have a bone punch as well for cuff. That's the design. As you can see, this is covered. This is a flat suture, and it's covered with a shaft. Once you insert it into the same drill guide, it tells you when it's locked. It's extremely safe. You can never miss it. It goes the whole length of the tunnel, but you will see what's going to happen. We retract the shaft, and the suture is open into the tunnel. And now the deployment will be a collapse of the suture. You will notice what's happening here. This is tensioning the suture, and it's forming a ball of 360 degrees. The pull-out is phenomenal. So as you can see, it's not against the last cortical layer actually in the cuff. And you do your repair and multiple options, and that's it. We will see all these devices in the... So this is the clinical study we're talking about. It's called Barber. Actually, it's a biomechanical analysis of pull-out strength, displacement, and failure mode. These are the three criteria which you would like to look at when you look into an all suture anchor or a anchor as well. So here, actually, we took nearly all the devices in the market. So we have Juggernaut, Iconix, Why-Not, and Q-Fix. As you can see here, we're highlighting the anchor material, the size of the suture, the drill diameter, and the drill length. Honestly, you will hear a lot of stories about, oh, we drilled 1.3, 1.8. In the end of the day, you're not using the full length of the drill. This will be replaced by bone quickly. I can understand that sometimes if it's very long, sometimes between 1.8 and 2.0, actually, that's why we're coming out with a mini now, which is a shorter tunnel. Sorry, here the length actually. And diameter actually. And so this is the result of the study, which is phenomenal. So this is in porcine cortical bone. We're checking the failure and the displacement. This is in different material, polyurethane foam, which is the standard actually of checking the implants. And this is the mode of failure. So as you can see, Q-Fix 1.8, which is for instability, has the highest pull-out strength. Iconix has the lowest. Displacement, this is the smallest displacement between all anchors. In terms of failure into the foam, Q-Fix is the highest and displacement is the lowest. And here, the mode of failure actually, we thought it was by pull out of the anchor. Actually, it is by suture breakage. So basically, Q-Fix doesn't fail. It's only the suture that breaks. It shows you how phenomenal is the anchor.
То есть модель не вытяжения его, а разрушения самого узла. То есть при демонстрации в полиуретановом блоке и в модели на порсин, максимальной силы вытяжения и минимального смещения. Porcine,
Porcine, pork?
Pork, yes.
It can be porcine or bovine actually. It's just to...
Свиной, да. То есть на всех моделях минимальное смещение и максимальная сила вытяжения.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the future, or actually now, so to show you the width of our portfolio, if you look to the reality of rotator cuff repair, we sometimes lack to, actually when we look to the standard repair, we're talking about these are the partial thickness, we never treat them sometimes. I don't know if the case, some surgeons, they see small tear and they would just say, it will heal alone, just take an anti-inflammatory, we do an MRI or just mechanical, it will say it will heal. And the other problematic now is the extreme opposite, which is between the massive full thickness and the irreparable cuff tear. So here basically we will go to the shoulder arthroplasty, which could be a problem for young patients, even for elderly people. I think in the US, it's one of the most countries crazy. They put shoulder arthroplasty for young people. So imagine you're like 45, 50 and you have a reverse shoulder. So what do you have as an option for a revision? You don't have any option. It is very complicated. So now we're coming out with this. We just acquired this company. It's called Rotation Medical Bioinductive Patch. So this is a patch which comes into a pack with a suture stitching devices for a medial and lateral row. So basically for a partial thickness tear, instead of doing an anchor repair, it's more aggressive, you just put an augmentation. And this is the bovine. It will augment the cuff. And some surgeons actually will use it in conjunction with repair. If I have a cuff, which I would not like to, I would have repair and add this patch on top of it. This will add more material into the cuff to add thickness to it.
То есть это новый материал из бычьего коллагена для аугментации ротаторной манжеты в результате приобретения компании Smith&Nephew, компании Rotation Medical. No. In Ukraine, it's not available still because
No, it's very new. Don't worry.
It's different company.
We just bought it. It's new. I'm just showing the way. So this company, I didn't put the color in orange. It's not Smith&Nephew, but actually we have big shares in it, and we are distributors across the region. We might buy it. It's called InSpace. So this is a balloon, actually, and that's what I'm talking about. It's extremely innovative. It's incredible when you think of it. It's just bioabsorbable, biodegradable spacer, and you fill it with saline, and it allows the immediate ease of pain when you have a full repairable cuff tear. And this is completely absorbable, biodegradable. After 6 months or 7, it will disappear, but the clinical study shows that you have an effect of 1.5 years or 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, you're buying 2 to 3 years' time for a patient before going into arthroplasty. And it's extremely easy to place just with the same portal, and you blow it into the shoulder. So this is actually available now in the market.
But still, it's not Smith&Nephew, it's InSpace company, yeah? Because
let's see.
We'll hope we'll have it.
And this is as well, I don't know if you have, who does glenoid bone loss? Latarjet. Are you a great fan of Latarjet in this country?
Yes, we are. Yeah, okay. That's why we should invest in our instruments.
Being French, actually, it's like a French flag. This is, we've heard a lot about it. I know it's problematic because contact sports, if you have patients with a lot of, how do you call it, when they take a lot of convulsion-inducing drugs. And so what other option do you have? If you do a banquet, he will come back in 6 months or 8 months. It's not good. So glenoid bone loss, we didn't want to come to the market with one project. We wanted to cover everything. Because you will hear, oh, mini open is good. Iliac crest is better. And then you will hear, oh, if you use a screw, it's better than button or a flush. So we said, you know what? We will work with the best. This one is Professor Boileau. He's the god of arthroscopic Latarjet. This is the extreme. He's the French guy who does all the procedure. We have amazing guides for the coracoid. We have guides for the glenoid, and everything is arthroscopically done. This is an amazing instrument set, and for his technique, he prefers to use button. Okay. The other approach is Professor Taverna from Italy. So he does, with the same surgical instruments, arthroscopically assisted bone block, so iliac crest and arthroscopic Latarjet, and he allows the surgeon the possibility to use a compression screw. So this is a 4 millimeter cannulated, non-cannulated, 32 to 44 millimeter length, single or double, and we have the instruments for that, or a button. And finally, this is Professor Verma from the US, and he is a mini open surgeon approach, which I think it's honest enough because you can control it. And the device is very nice because the difficulty in glenoid bone loss is the accuracy of drilling. I know a lot of surgeons who does this surgical technique with just a clamp and a drill. This is very good if you're confident about it, but if you can get more accuracy into flushing the coracoid, cleaning the glenoid, and having the final accuracy, not very low, not very high, into placing it, this is the perfect device and instrument set for that. So this is available now in our region, definitely not in Ukraine for the moment, but
we hope. Yeah,
if you have any demand, just tell us.
I think yes.
Because the learning curve is quite interesting on these devices. So I can go very quickly here. These are the products we've seen. So maybe very, very quickly. TwinFix Ultra family, PK, HA titanium. This is a wide family in terms of sizes and material. The second one, and this is one of the best in the market, if not the best, helicoil family, completely hollow, open architecture. It comes with 2 sutures, 3 sutures, 1 tape, 1 suture, or 1 tape. So amazingly wide family. And PEEK material or osteoconductive material, Regenesorb. This, Mariana showed it before, I don't want to go into it in terms of the composition, and it was proven for the moment, and we don't have any issue, and it's a world-class material. So definitely less material. You have the bone ingrowth promise. We had a case actually in cadaveric course, arthroplasty, and the surgeon was cutting the shoulder, and he was showing the product manager, he saw plastic in it, but like nothing. And he was like, what is this? And they checked it, and he sent a picture to the head office. It was a helicoil anchor. It was completely full of bone, and they didn't even know that this patient had a cuff repair before. It shows you it can be completely full of bone after. And so the Ultra Tape, this is an amazing product. I'm really saying it. It has 75% more contact area than traditional sutures, which is understandable. In terms of repair options, actually, we've seen it. It allows a lot of repair options. We use it now for even AC joint, meniscal root repair. We use it for all the extremities product because it has a nice compression.
То есть можно использовать и для акромиально-ключичного сочленения, и для ушивания корня мениска эту ленту.
And this is the picture I wanted to show you. This is a smooth, low profile. It has 58% less material than the tape you know in the market, because this is really a tape. It's not a suture with a flat wedges. So basically, when you tension this product, it becomes a V shape, because the tension is with the center of it, which is the suture. So it has a ear dog effect, and it can have laceration on the cuff, a lot of trauma, and less circulation of the fluid. If you look to the area of contact of Ultra Tape, is completely uniform. So you can be sure that the compression on the sides and in the center are completely the same. That's why it makes it a nice tape to be used.
Площадь контакта равномерно распределена по всей толщине ленты.
This is the Multifix family. So we didn't show this one. We have the option on the screw locking or a push locking. This is up to you how you prefer. This is a nice family, and we've seen the video. I'm going to go very fast.
Multifix S and Multifix P. Multifix S is screw-in, and Multifix P is punched. Yeah?
Exactly. So both of them are self-punch devices. No need to pre-dilate. If you think that the bone is very hard, you just mark the area to avoid any slippage of the anchor.
Не нужно никаких специальных инструментов для подготовки костного ложа.
The P is a smaller device due to the design of it. It's like 14 millimeters, so it's nice for extremities as well. This is more bigger, so 5.5 wide and 6.5 millimeter, but it's more bulky and more interesting in terms of pull-out strength. Footprint Ultra Peak, you've seen it. The best point of this product is the inner screw locking mechanism. This is one of the only devices which you can avoid overtension. You don't have to worry about it. So you have really a control on repair tension. And speed screw, this is another option of devices. We have it here, but I don't want to spend much time on it. This is the only knotless device, which is you implant first and you enter the suture after. It's a C-shape shaft actually, and so you load the sutures after implanting it, and you load it into the anchor. It's very complicated, but some people love it. It's just to show you the width.
То есть единственный беззловый фиксатор, который сначала имплантируется, а потом туда погружаются нити. What's the reason why we use in which cases? It's preference of surgeons.
So because you avoid tangling the sutures inside the portals. So some surgeons don't like to manage the sutures putting inside,
okay.
going. So you just put your anchor.
For
and from
surgeons who
outside,
avoid management decisions.
it's very easy. You understand it. You just put it, and you take the sutures outside of your shoulder.
We will try.
You lock it,
Okay.
and it will go inside.
We will try.
Suture passing, very important. We have True Pass, very nice device. Nice loading mechanism, self-capture or non-self-capture. The needle is very easy to put in. It's a flat needle. It accommodates nicely, tapes, suture, and all kind of devices. Ergonomically designed, and you will see it. I'm really sorry I forgot to bring the needles. She will kill me, Olena.
Yeah. Ну, True Pass это да, вот прошиватель с механизмом самозахвата, да, ленты или нити, очень удобный и, конечно же, представляющий значительные преимущества по сравнению с тем, чем мы пользовались элит-пассом в прошлом. Эргономичный, легкий и с функцией самозахвата петли.
We spoke about this. This is the only suture device that allows you the incline mattress technique. So basically, once again, this is the incline mattress. It's passing.
It's named incline mattress technique.
Incline mattress. So basically, you pass with two needles actually. The
Там есть
same
такой
suture under it.
пластиковый картридж, который одевается на рабочую часть устройства и позволяет одновременно двум, получается, иглам, да, и сделать матрасный шов.
And it allows you to do to use knotless devices on lateral row. So you don't use medial suture anchors or knotless
Таким
devices.
образом, вам не нужен медиальный ряд, вам вполне достаточно зафиксировать только латеральным рядом, вращательную манжету.
First pass is the equivalent of True Pass. Just to show you the devices we have. This one has a stiffer needle, and the needle is curved that brings the suture back to you. It's just options because some surgeons don't like the suture to come back. Some of them like it. So just to show you that we have as many options as possible for your
То есть First Pass и True Pass — это аналоги. First Pass имеет более прочную иглу и позволяет игле выходить немного по изогнутой траектории, в отличие от True Pass.
And First Pass ST finally is the same First Pass but in disposable, as we said. So here in terms of use, it's just take it out. No need to put a needle on it. It's ready. We use it in meniscal root repair as well because it's a very nice device, very smooth. And it accommodates sutures and tapes as well.
И также одноразовый фиксатор First Pass, который можно использовать для ушивания корня мениска. Однозначно лидер продаж будет одноразовый First Pass.
And finally, in instability, we have Suture Fix Ultra. We have just one design. This is another suture anchor, which allows control of the deployment because it's on the shaft and not on the cortical layer. Q-Fix, we've seen it, and we will use it after.
Can you go to the previous slide? Да, то есть у Smith&Nephew есть так называемый Suture Pass. Это тоже фиксатор-узел, но мы предпочли из двух фиксаторов все-таки Q-Fix, потому что, вот как говорилось, все-таки это будет одноплоскостной, да, такой узел, и сила вытяжения у него однозначно меньше, чем у Q-Fix.
And Q-Fix, we will use it afterwards. In terms of curved, for the moment we have a hard anchor, which is Bioraptor or Osteoraptor curved. But very soon, in a couple of months, we will have the same Q-Fix and Suture Fix in curved. So if you like to minimize the amount of implant and plastic into the glenoid, you will have the options in curved as well. But this is a very nice product, and I'm sure you've used it in 2.3 millimeter single loaded. Okay?
Okay.
And finally, well, this I don't need to talk about it. It's the equivalent of Bioraptor knotless. And this is the final device. It's called Speed Stitch. If you have issues with managing suture passing inside the glenoid for instability and banker repair, instead of using an AcuPass, which is still very nice, extension of your finger, this is for knotless device. It's a suture passing device that has already built in, you put a cartridge in the back of it. The idea is just you grab the loose tissues, and it has a mechanism of locking, grabbing, you release it if you're not happy, and it has a needle inside. When the needle goes, it takes the suture and it passes it in the soft tissues. You take it outside, you lock it into your knotless device, Bioraptor or Speed Lock, and you just lock. So it replaces a lot of steps into passing the suture and accommodating the instability. Okay? That's it, thank you. I think I killed you, no?
Сейчас мы попробуем все.
Please, let's go to... So maybe I'll ask one of you to start with the Q-fix for instability, if you want. Doctor?
Anton.
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 Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you. Can I have the flat, the red one, please? The bone block? It's red. Yes. Yeah. Thanks. So I will ask you, please, power tool. So this is the 1.8 millimeter. It's flexible. This is the 1.8 drill guide, and this is the drill. So as you can see, it comes with a guide, obturator as well. Same approach as for instability, Bioraptor, Osteoraptor. So please, doctor. Sorry. So this device will let you know which steps to do, and you will see the ease of using it. Yes. So you start with drilling. You go to the stopper. It will tell you when to stop. Yes, go. When you can't go anymore, it means it's stopped. You can go now. You keep it in the same. And now you take your device and you push it till it tells you when to stop. You can see here, you have the angle. It means you're in. So what does it mean now? The whole shaft is to the depth of the tunnel, okay? So now you will start initiating, clockwise, and you will hear, and it will let you know what's happening. So basically what's happening now is that the shaft is retracting. Go. You stopped here? Can we stop a second, please? So it means that we retracted fully the shaft. It means that the suture is now full length into the tunnel and deployed. So what's going to happen after? We call it the suture forming or the collapse of the suture. So now continue, please. No, don't pull it. Continue. No, continue rotating. Sorry. Rotate. Turn it. Yeah. So look what's happening here. Sorry, can I show it? It's pulling the suture, so it's collapsing the suture, it's forming it. And now it will let you know as well it's completely formed. Rotate. More. It means it's completely formed. So now what we will do, we will retrieve the sutures, please. And once you retrieve it, you can pull it now. Just pull it. And now try to pull it, please. And it's a sliding suture as well. So basically the suture is in the ball and it slides. And this is a... very good. Very strong. That's what happens in plastic. Because here we have a harder, it never pulls out. It's plastic. Maybe you can use it on these ones. I have a couple of samples if you want to start with Q-fix. So this is for 2.8 and this is for 1.8. Let me bring the other one, please. Who wants to try this one? So you can take your guide. So this is the 2.8 for instability, for cup. This.
Is this for cuff?
Yes. Cuff and biceps.
Here.
Can I have the guide, please? Is this the guide? Yes. So imagine you're putting it in the medial row, actually. So you have the same concept, actually. You have to drill it till the end. It will let you know. Okay, go up. Keep it the same. Go till the end. Yeah. So now, please don't remove it. Just keep it in the bottom and rotate it. Yes. I will let you manage it. So now, more. Yeah. So you're forming the suture now. It means it's done. So now you take out the suture and you will pull it. So here we have a sort of a cortical layer. It won't go out. The other one is too foamy. take it out. Pull it. Yeah, go, just pull it. Pull the anchor. So here, try, please. So you have two sutures, sliding sutures, and you will see the pull out here is phenomenal. It never goes out. He's skeptic. Huh? It never goes out. I always say I will never buy this one. Every time I buy it from Soulbone, this is shit. It's too foamy. Who wants to try it? Anyone, doctor? Please. So you have the guide. Try. If you want an obturator as well, sure. So please keep it in position, always, the guide, yes. Here, if you prefer in the cuff punch, we have a punch for it as well. Keep your, go to the end. Okay. Now take your product, insert it till the stopper. Go, yes. Now start rotating, clockwise, yes. It stopped. Here it collapses, yes. So keep on going. Till it goes down. Yeah. Now you can retrieve the sutures. Take out the sutures, yes. And you can pull it. Pull it. You can go.
Osteoporotic bone. And if we have osteoporotic bone?
So osteoporotic bone, the last resort, because the ball is like 6 to 8 millimeter, it will hit the cortex. But on plastic you don't have cortex, that's why you don't have security. So here you will try to pull it, it's impossible. And both sutures are sliding. So for biceps it's quite nice because now you know that biceps we are not recommending screws anymore to avoid laceration. So what we do is quite easy. You just go with a single loaded or double. You repair your biceps, you drill it, and you do a cinch loop, which is either you pierce your biceps or you just do a knot around it and you lock it.
With biceps, we suture biceps. We put this anchor, and then we suture biceps.
Yeah, exactly. And you lock it. I still have one who wants to try. This is. We'll do the other products after. So always keep your guide in the same position. And once again, if you prefer a punch, we have a punch for the cuff. Because some surgeon would tell me, why would you use a drill in a cuff? Mm-hmm. Keep your guide. So now push it till it is in position. Yes, more, yes. So now rotate just the tip of it, just the tip, yeah. Could you please hold the block for him? Yeah, rotate more. Yep, so now you retrieve your suture and you pull it. Yeah, pull it. You can pull it now. It's okay. Pull the anchor completely, yes. Yeah, go out. Don't worry, just go. It's maybe locked the suture. Yeah, just go. Go. Yeah, go. Okay. It's extremely strong. So here we can go to the tape, the cuff actually. I have the tape loaded on suture and suture anchor actually. So as I will pass this and you will see how smooth is it, and no inner core. And if you just put it this way, you will see the how nice is it on your finger. This is a co-braid one. I will just show you how to implant one. I will ask one of you, and we'll try to lock one with the same device, Multifix S, in the bottom. So I will use a dilator here. And normally I would recommend the other one, which is conical, a 3.8 millimeter. This is a 3.8, but how do you get straight? Please, doctor. So here we will use the helicoil PEEK. Normally you have specific dilators for these anchors, but because it's PEEK, it never breaks. For the osteoconductive one, I would recommend to use the specific dilator to avoid breakage. It's still, so you go till the laser mark. Did you? Oh, sorry. So here we'll prepare insertion site for helicoil. Okay, it's okay, laser mark. So now please go ahead with footprint, helicoil. You will see it's a fully threaded anchor. It's really nice. And this one is loaded with one tape only. I'm trying to do the first technique. Till the laser mark. No, yeah. Okay, so you can stop here. So now you have this one which holds the suture. You will pull it, take out the suture. Let me see. Yeah. From the other side. Yeah. Now you can pull it. Okay. So as you can see here, maybe I don't know, we will show you. It's completely hollow. You only see two buds, and this suture is laying on a ridge in the end. Please have a look at it. So immediately after you implant it, you will see the fluids coming out and the blood. It's an immediate circulation of the blood, and the pull out is phenomenal. Because it's fully threaded, it's like a screw. You don't lose the benefit of a conical shape in the top. It's completely flat in the beginning. Okay? So I'm really sorry I forgot to bring needles for the for the True Pass. But True Pass as a device, the mechanism is completely different from Elite Pass. This is discontinued now. We replace it by this one. So here the mechanism is a long bite, deep self-capture window. You load the tape from the side. This is the opposite. And you go, it's a deeper bite actually. If you want it shallow, deep, it locks it. And here the mechanism, if you don't lock it, you open it again. So it allows you to accommodate it. Once you lock it, the deployment mechanism, you have the needle here, and you push it with your wrist, like this. It will push the needle, it will open the window. Okay? If we use Elite Pass, please. We will just try to do as they did to sutures and lock it down. Okay? Actually, it doesn't pass the tape. I'm really sorry. It doesn't pass the tape. The Elite Pass doesn't pass the tape. So we can use an Arthrocare, like. You can pass it, just I'll do it for a second. So here we have one. And we have the second one. I have a magical finger, I can put it into the shoulder. So we will try to take these two, lock them in this new device, Multifix S Ultra. It was here, yeah. So as you can see here, this is a quite nice and easy anchor. Because you have made it easy for you, this is the double snare. So basically, well, for the purpose of this exercise, I have only 2 tapes. But in reality, so if you want to pass 1 and 1, if you have 6 sutures, for example, you will put 3, you pull it, so it passes into the window, and then you put 3 in here and you pass it. The majority of the cases, 2 sutures and 2 sutures, for example, you put 2, you pass it, because all the implants, when you pass multiple sutures in one window, think of it, it's folded like this, it will be. So you're doubling the number into the window, it's too much pressure. So here, just to show you the exercise, let's pass these 2 tapes into one window. Okay, keep it short. Just pull it pull this one. Keep it close to the shaft. Yeah. You can use your other hand actually. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go more. Push it more. Take it and you pull it. Okay. And it will pass the other suture passer as well. And here you have the snare, and you release your sutures. Okay. If it wants, it doesn't want. Okay, so here you don't need it anymore, you throw it. So here you have to, you can tension. The idea here to avoid tangling, it's a self punch, and I will ask you to punch it. You can tension your sutures till you reach this window. Okay? You can lock it here. You can release it till you lose this window. And when you reach this laser mark, it means the suture is locked. You cannot move it anymore. So you have to take your time when you reach here to know if it's over tensioned or not. And then after, if you're happy with it, you tension more or less, release it. You start till the laser mark and you initiate the rotation and you lock it. I will make it a bit higher because usually it breaks this. So please, I will ask you to hammer it. You can put it into a wall, it doesn't break. Go. More. So here, as you can see, you can tension, release, or tension till the moment. So till we reach the laser mark, please. Okay, so here you start to level, we say, okay, maybe it's over tensioned, I will release it a little bit or not, okay? And so now let's say that you're happy. Please punch it till the level of the laser mark to initiate the locking mechanism. Let's turn it this way. Okay, please, let's go. Okay, more. Because it's plastic, I would ask you to, because to have the first thread into the plastic. In bone, when you reach the bone, it's okay. Just one hammer, please. Just one hammer, yeah. Yeah, okay. So now you initiate rotation clockwise, and you will see what's happened. You see, the screw is locking the anchor inside more. Yeah. It's going inside. You see? More, and it will tell you when to stop. Actually, go. So now you can't rotate anymore, and now you release the anchor with this. Rotate it. Sorry. Yeah. And you try to release it, and it will tell you when to release. More. And that's it. You have a repair. Okay. Who wants to try it? Sorry, excuse me. So, if you want to do the same or just use a... So remember with the helicoil, you always need the dilator before you insert it. And use your multifix to lock it. And I have as well footprint. But I think you know footprint, so this is the approach to show you the multifix.
Can I try it?
Yeah. So here, which one I gave you? The footprint? Hammer? Oh, sorry. If you want to try this alone, you have some changes.
Ну, чуть-чуть.
Анкер тоже выше. Анкер, наверное, выше надо. То есть, мне кажется, это низкая планка, да?
Okay. So now you take your
То есть нормально.
and you screw it.
Вот это надо, не имеет значения.
So this is loaded with a one tape and one suture. You have a laser mark in here.
Стоп. Ты неправильно. Дырку не здесь.
So you have this handle here. You pull it. You take the sutures and you go out. Okay, that's it.
Вот здесь.
And look at it. It's really amazing. You use Arthrocare, yeah?
Он забивается.
Yes, please. coil. Let's try to pass 4 sutures and lock it with one tape, with one Yes, try to load it before. Okay. Yeah.
Я же поэтому захотел сфотографировать.
So usually make it short to avoid this kind of situations, okay? And now you rotate it and you keep, to avoid tangling, you keep the tip under it, okay? Yeah, you rotate it the other side. Yes, this way. No, pull the suture. Pull the suture, pull it, and hammer. Excuse me, can I take this? Yeah? So normally you hold this, you put it, you lock it, switcher. Yes, lock it here.
Вначале забиваем, потом... Что-то...
Металлическую штуку надо убрать.
If you release it, you just take it here. Это просто проводник.
Тянути на себе, тянути, затянути надо.
Не, он... стоп, мы не туда должны затянуть. Вот.
Just hammer it more.
Нить. Не тянуть сюда, это как проводник. Проводничок. Да, смотри. Нет, я вот и вытяну сразу.
You can test the laser mark. So you punch it to the laser mark and you initiate the rotation. Okay? No. You have to go to the laser mark. Yes. Hammer.
Да, тянуть, да.
Yes. Okay. So now rotate. Yeah. And you see. You need to keep pressure actually. Okay? Yeah. So it will stop whenever. Yeah. That's it. So now you have to place it. The black one, yeah?
Обе, да? Это вроде как натяжение делаем, да? И забиваем теперь. Оно уже само регулировать будет. Молоток. Ребят, можно молоточек на секундочку?
This is a nice one for switches.
Поэтому бить можно? Да.
We will use one multifix.
Теперь вот эту крутим.
That's it. Yeah.
Отлично.
Почему нитку не режет?
Yeah, that's why you lock the sutures. Because if you don't lock them, it will go loose. So here, what I ask you to do is take one color, and let's start to lock them one by one.
Погрузилась, теперь вот это кручу.
You can do 4 of them, but because we have 2 windows, so I will ask you to do it, please. Keep it short, like this, please. Hold it and pull this one. Pull it slowly to avoid passing the second window. Okay? Now,
вот эту, наверное, вначале крутить, а потом вот эту.
So, you have the first sutures in.
Там написано.
Now we load the
Вначале
second
вот эту, а
sutures.
потом ту. Я поспешил с этой.
That's why you make 2 loops.
Вот это раз.
You might need your assistant or you do it yourself, you ask her to hold it. But in reality, it's making a lot of help for you.
Вот это не так круче.
Now you put it, yes. Exactly. So here you try to tension all the 4 to make them uniform.
В чому недолік? Коли витягуєш, нитка не ходить там всередині.
So please rotate the head always under it to avoid tangling the sutures. So you rotate it this way. You can keep the on top. So here you have to make the sutures all even. So this one is loose. You have to find it and pull it. Yes. Pull the 4 on the same level. Yes. So maybe lock it here now. So keep pressure. Go, go, go. So now if you're happy with the tension, you can continue. This is, So you will take your grasper and release the sutures. Release the sutures, okay? Release the sutures. Okay? You see it's moving. We'll reach the window.
Теперь молоток наш друг.
So now you can start.
Да, теперь молоток.
You see the screw is going inside the roll. It will tell you when to stop. Okay, that's it. So now you release the handle.
Наоборот подтягивай.
Okay, please.
Ну все.
Нет, там просто не надо.
Уже сильно натянул.
Все, уже все.
Try to see if it's going up. That's it. Sorry?
Потом.
You don't need a dilator for this. No? No. If you think that the cuff is very hard,
А у вас не будет
just
куда
make
идти дальше.
you mark it like this only.
Все. А теперь вот, не, теперь вот это вот.
Туда же.
Да, подтягиваем то, что мы уже забили.
Тоже какой-то щелчок.
Нет, нет.
Но оно должно упереться.
Это вы открутили, отжали.
Наоборот, ты хочешь
Да.
сказать, в эту сторону?
Вытягиваем.
Нет, вот эта часть, которая...
Это отжимает фиксатор.
Bone in growth, I would say using it. And now it's coming out. Some surgeons, they just like not.
Конечно, вот это.
But you have this screw, so you can release it. That's why we recommend not much. This is split screw. It's
Один сюда, а один сюда. Медиальные два, а глубокие.
So, I had to dilate it here.
Да, через 5 минут мы финальная
Basically, this is
инспекция
an
по
office
поводу
device
оборудования.
that allows you to
Еще 5 минут.
dilate it through it.
Кому нужно потренироваться?
Okay. And I'll show you what's going to happen. It's the only device that has load the suture from outside. Okay, so yes, so you pull out the device first. It's a 5.5 millimeter. You see? And this is a C shape. You see it? It's open. So what's going to happen is I will take one by one every suture. Lock it.
Это Q-fix, правильно?
So now you will rotate the mechanism of. You see the suture going inside? So that's why we say the only mechanism of loading from outside. The other one I missed it actually. I killed the implant. It's this one I didn't. So here you can tension one by one. It's very difficult actually, to be honest. So I missed this one. So here it will bring the suture actually. Can you tension one side or another? This way or this way? But I missed this one. I missed to load this one in the beginning. But you see the tension? If I put it this way, it doesn't tension it because this is the right one. You see it's not working. When I put it this way, it tensions it. And release it is like this. It locks it. You see what happened? It sent a device to lock it. And then you take it out. It's very bulky, but if you don't know how to manage your sutures or you don't like to manage your sutures, this is the best stuff to load it from outside. So I loaded one switch. Do you want to try anything in particular, or can we start? Okay. Thank you for your time.
Говорит. Ти в ефірі, знімай щось.
И у нас трансплантат происходит канал высокоглубины, которые мы все. И здесь тогда возле апертуры оказывается все. Что?
Не можно попускать.
Ну, говорят, что не можно. Нет, можно обрезать просто, можно завязать узлы.
Да.
Okay, just you just need to finish with the last session.
Finish.
So I have a last presentation. So besides the implants or joint repair, Smith&Nephew has very advanced enabling technology solution, or the Tower Capital. And we will show you not everything, just the most innovative now and the most recent. And I will start with the first technology called Quantum 2. This is the world-class gold standard in coblation. I call it coblation, not to say radio frequency, and I will show you why. This is a reliable, premium quality, ergonomic device. It is, oh, we hear it there. It is there for shoulder, knee, and other segments that has need of coblation. Basically, what's coblation? It's a plasma field, actually, which forms on the tip of the wand. And the energy in the plasma actually will dissociate molecular bonds with targeted tissue. So basically, you have to keep it a distance. Some devices you have to push with the device actually to resect. This even you have to push it a little bit up on the tissue. It will resect it actually.
1 second.
Sorry.
Yeah. То есть новые коагуляторы, они называют эту технологию кобляция. Кобляция означает контролируемая абляция, и механизм действия заключается в создании слоя плазмы между поверхностью электрода и поверхностью ткани, которая обрабатывается. За счет этого возможно удаление ткани в более низкотемпературном режиме от 40 до 70 градусов.
So in terms of why we say removed precisely, actually, the whole process of, you will see a lot of radio frequency in the market, and we will see it after. The problem with radio frequency actually is to burn the tissue. It can look perfectly well resected, but in reality you are necrosing. It will do necrosis for the tissue. Coblation is a minimal depth of penetration. We're talking about 100 to 200 micron. This is like 2 human hair only. So this is really a control of your resection. And it works on a much lower temperature than RF devices. So sometimes we have a way of saying it, we call it cold ablation. It's not true, it's not a cold ablation, but actually it's a much lower temperature than radio frequency. And it has a unique feature called ambient technology and scope saver. We will see it after. So we talk always about power curve. Actually, this is very important for you, and you have different settings actually on the machine, and we always recommend actually to go for 7 and 9. This is a minimal depth of penetration. If you look here, the comparison of the thermal temperature and the coblation. Actually, we go into coblation perfectly when we are on this setting from nearly 6, 7, 7 to 9. This is optimal, and as you can see, the temperature, we're very low. That's why sometimes we say cold ablation. You're not going to a spike of above 80. You're burning tissue. The problem with radio frequency, and we even have copies now of our ones coming from China. They look the same, and surgeons are happy to pay cheaper, of course. But in reality, when we control them, it is burning the tissue. In reality, you don't see it, but afterwards, if you open, you will see necrosis.
То есть преимущество заключается в низкотемпературной абляции, и мы здесь манипулируем больше напряжением, чем мощностью электрического тока. Получается, что в физрастворе между положительным и отрицательным полюсом, да, биполярного электрода создается так называемый слой, поверхность высокозаряженной плазмы, которая разрушает молекулярные связи, в результате чего достигается минимальная пенетрация, фокусное воздействие и низкотемпературный режим.
So once again, when we look to the curve, this is a Super Turbo VAC 90 power curve, one of our ones, and the difference of set point 1 to 9, and you can see here it's basically a little bit of burn because the depth of penetration is much more. So this is an optimal one, 7 and 9. The tissue is still very healthy. So always think of this when you use your ones. It doesn't mean it's ablating too much, taking too much tissues, it's good. It's burning the tissue, so beware of this. Here it looks very nice. Ambient technology. So this is one of the unique technologies which actually gives you real-time temperature monitoring of the intra-articular fluid during surgery. Sometimes you might have something happening, maybe scope heating or something else, and you have with your wand a live temperature inside the articulation, and this is unique to our technology.
Ambient and special sort of electrodes, yes?
We have electrodes actually, which calls within ambient.
Да, то есть это одно из семейства электродов, которое принадлежит к этой системе, оно позволяет контроль, да, температуры коагуляции в режиме реального времени.
So basically, you set the temperature which one you like, and if you exceed this temperature, maybe the fluid is not working anymore, something happened, you will have an alarm actually. So it tells you, beware doctor, it's heating too much in the joint. So I'll just go very quickly into the portfolio of the ones we call them, or the how do you call it, electrode, is massive. It is the biggest portfolio in the market, and it depends on your preference and what you're looking for. So in knee, for example, procedure, we can cover meniscectomy, and this is an indicator that we're very comfortable of using it in meniscectomy because you're not resecting burning the healthy meniscus and provoking tissue damage. Lateral release, ACL, PCL debridement, articular cartilage debridement, synovectomy, tendon debridement, ligament and tendon coagulation. So this is a selection of ones which are specific for this kind of approach. For example, Paragon is a very nice, T2 is a very nice for cartilage debridement. That's it?
Chondroplastica.
Yeah. And so you have Super Multivac, Sabre, and Kovac. In knee procedures, actually, if you look to the use, and this is quite nice, this is 1 million procedures actually performed every year, and that's just to tell you that we design different, as I was saying, different ones for different procedures. So this is the segmentation of the use between meniscectomy, cartilage, and this is the specific one for each operation. For shoulder, actually, where you need more maybe coblation, you have all these operations: supracromial decompression, frozen shoulder release, rotator cuff to prepare all the surfaces, the footprint, capsular ligament tendon coagulation, bursectomy, glenoid labrum resection, tendon debridement, articular cartilage debridement, and one of the most common is Super Turbo VAC 90. This is a very, very nice device. Ambient Megavac, so with the ambient feedback, StarVac, and this is the covator. It's very nice to release an instability, for example, tissues which are, maybe locked in different positions. So you release the labrum actually with a curvator. Avoid using a knife. So we can go quickly here just to explain. This is internal, maybe for your hospitals it's easy and nice. We have a different code, ACSA. So the reality is A for arthroscopy, S for suction, C for integrated cable wand, and ambient is the technology. So depending on these, you will understand sometimes the difference between the ones if you don't have the catalog with you. And so this is another feature to say the difference between ablation rate performance compared to ambient megavac. And you can see that the ambient megavac actually, it has 100% ablation rate versus all other competitor. I took in purpose Smith&Nephew out for the reality. When we acquired Arthrocare, we had an RF technology. Okay, and so when we had the coblation, when you have a gold standard of quality, we decided to discontinue our technology. So our RF radio frequency, which is as the others in terms of resection, we completely discontinued it, and now we're fully operating with coblation, because it's definitely superior to any other technology in the market, safer, more reliable. The ambient collection, so these are the selection of ones which comes in an ambient, so temperature control during the procedure. So we've seen this. This is the first system to provide real-time temperature measurement and circulation of the fluid. The thermal placement of the thermocouple is in the tip, here. This is compatible with the Quantum 2, and it has a default setting built in it. Just as a reminder, don't go above 45 degrees in the joint. Keep the wand moving. Use a paintbrush style actually. It doesn't need to touch actually the tissues to ablate, because we're once again talking about a plasma field forming on the tip of it. That's what we're talking about. So keep some people in reality, because we don't talk about it and because the RF is like this, you have to push and you have the impression you're like with the blade you're resecting. Actually, reality, you have to keep it a little bit above the tissue because the plasma is rejecting. It's not the tip of your...
То есть мы должны прикасаться к ткани для того, чтобы предотвратить повышение температуры выше 45 градусов.
And so, once again, we spoke about it. You can put an alarm into the quantum controller to tell you what's happening. And so these are just the main steps in terms of ensuring the suction is working. Because if suction is not working, it's not lubricating enough and decreasing the temperature. Okay. Any questions on quantum? We have here a machine with the different ones, actually, if you want to have a look at it. Mariana?
Two more devices and we are ready to finish. We are introducing as well, we are working very long on this device. It's a new camera system called Lens, and it's an integrated system of 3 different devices in one, which actually you don't need the light source anymore, the image management system. It's everything in one console.
Последняя это камера Lens, да, которая объединяет в себе блок камеры, записывающее устройство и источник света.
The camera head is autoclavable. Then if you don't want to wrap it with the sleeve like regularly you are doing, you can autoclave the camera head. The image management system, it's a system which you can record and save images in fully high resolution quality.
То есть изображение вы можете сохранять в режиме высокого разрешения. Камера является автоклавируемой.
The light source, which is built in the device as well, it's a LED light source, which every light bulb will survive 3,000 hours. Then it's very cost effective.
How many hours?
3,000.
3,000.
The images are in the truly high definition system, and you are saving them right away to your USB. The system doesn't have the integrated hard disk. You have to put and plug your USB and leave it there. But what you can do, there is an iPad application, which is very cool and very nice thing to manage. From this iPad application, you can change your picture, you can send the picture to your patients, you can share with another surgeon. It works. Your nurse can actually control the device from iPad, then no one has to come closer to the card that you are operating. There's another person having the iPad in their hand and managing all the devices like the light, the quality of the picture, enhancement. All the things can be managed now from iPad.
То есть вам нет жесткого диска, вы можете присоединять USB-диску или просто использовать интегрированный iPad для того, чтобы делиться этими изображениями, а также ваша медсестра может непосредственно контролировать работу устройства с iPad.
And light cable is orange, just to brand it as good. This is how the tablet application looks like. It's many users can use the same tablet, that you need actually just one tablet in your OR, and you are downloading from app stores just a Smith&Nephew app for lens. And you can save lots of patients, you can come back to your patient, you can manage, you can send the picture, you can transform your picture to PDF file to send it via email. And what you can do as well, if you want to share with your patient or with other surgeon, like, okay, this is the lesion of the meniscus that I will repair or I will resect, and you can add a comment, voice comment, or you can type the comment, and the pictures like that, you can send it via email as well. That is a very cool application. And this is going to be available now in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
We don't have yet these devices here, but definitely when they will reach Ukraine, you will do some demo around the hospitals, right?
No, we hope we receive it soon.
And the last device that we would like to present, because it's the last device that we are introducing to your Korean market, it's a very simple, cost-effective pump. It's a pump which works in flow up to 1.5 liter per minute. It's calibrating only in 15 seconds from the beginning. It's the smallest pump on the market. You put it only on the pole, and it's super easy to use for your OR staff, because mostly you are not touching the pump. Yes, OR staff are using it. And you can control it from the remote control from somewhere in the OR. And it has an alarm as well. If the overpressure is coming more than 30, the pump will stop after 15 seconds and will start to revert. That is like a security warning. Has a flush and wash function. It's a simple device, not expensive, with single-use tubing options. However, it's just cost-effective. It's working pretty well. And sometimes in knee, probably you are not even using a pump. And it's so nice to have a stable control and pressure in the joint. Then this can be your solution for your knee repair procedures. And just as a reminder, I don't know if you are familiar with Spider 2. We have this device since several years in the market, but it's still only one in the market actually with all the features. It's a battery, there is no cord, then you are just changing a battery. You can use it for all your procedures. For example, the first one is shoulder beach chair position. You can use it together in combination with T-Max, is our beach chair positioner. Then you are positioning Spider in the end of the table, or you can do it on the side. If you prefer lateral position, you have a parts with traction that you can actually apply traction for lateral position. We have as well now adjustment for knee, that you can use it for the knee procedures. For the ACL, you need to hyperbend the knee. You don't have assistant. This is your personal assistant. And Spider will just do the work. For the smaller joint, for extremities together with traction, for elbow, and we have it for wrist as well. then actually one single device, just you have to attach some of the different attachment for different joints. What is easy as well now, you don't need to use a foot switch. We have a sterile drape, you just put a drape on it and has a hand switch that you can reposition the spider many times during the one surgery. That's it what we would like to share with you today. Olena, thank you for coming. Thank you for
Спасибо
joining us
большое за
here.
то, что вы пришли. Если есть какие-то вопросы, мы ответим прямо сейчас и приглашаем. Я надеюсь, там уже накрыт небольшой фуршет финальный. Мы можем поделиться мнениями об услышанном. Спасибо.
Спасибо.